See what happens. Yeah. I think it's
hey man, if one of the open team could win, I mean, there's a chance that an open qualifier could win the NA qualifier.
Oh,
NA's such a
I don't think
dude.
so. No, I don't.
Probably
think so.
not, but
no, there's. I definitely don't think so. I think there's a chance that if C gets 2 invites, there's a chance that the Southeast Asian Open winner wins the Asian qualifier. Because I think there's so little known about that region that who the fuck knows.
At the same time, having a team which has got the potential to win the qualifier, getting through a best-of-1 style bracket open qualifier, that's a tall ask.
Yeah.
And some teams are just really, really bad at that type of format. Speaking as a guy who's watched a lot of them, because with like ISO Cup and Gigabyte Challenge and crap like that, wonderful things like that, it's really difficult for teams when they try and come through the open qualifier to just keep winning best of one after best of one after best of one. One thing goes wrong and your entire game goes out the window. One hero that gets slightly out of control, one whiz tiny combo, and all of a sudden you've lost 2 sets of racks and you're out of TI. It's a really rough format to try and run a qualifier on.
Yeah, I think
you've got no choice when you got that many teams.
That makes sense. Absolutely. So I want to plug back in because we've had like the viewership has grown exponentially. Just to let you guys know that this is a impromptu, I don't know what to call it, an episode of Coffee with Toffee. It's just the overlays already exist, so we're using them. This is just a live TI reveal. We've got panelists coming in. Charlie, What Is Hip, and Toby have been gracious enough to hop on and give us their opinions so far tonight. But none of us, and I want to stress this, have had the time to sit down and do any sort of prep work on this draft list. This is just a casual reaction sort of discussion about what it looks like and where TI is going. And I will say this, guys, and I don't know if maybe Valve will hear it for next year, but if they had let some folks know, I think any studio, I think High Ground, Join Dota, even the BTS guys, anybody would have been happy to put together sort of a reveal show to go alongside of this with prepackaged groupings and all kinds of fun stuff, had we known about it ahead of time.
We were told nothing.
Right? Apparently nobody got anything out of this. And maybe that's just my naivete.
It's just my surprise face. The same as my not surprise face, because it's Valve.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I've never had the pleasure of working with Valve, so I don't know what is the norm there. That said, this is sort of us just talking about where we're going. Next pick, I think, for all of us, are we all sticking with the same thing that we thought was coming out at 5, C9?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I don't really know how Cloud9 does. If Cloud9 doesn't get invited, then I'd be. I mean, if they've, I don't know. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they're just gonna start throwing things out the window and just putting things up there.
At least it's not as cruel as the last TI invites, which is like, I wonder when the next wave is going to come out.
Just completely random. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that was one thing when I first saw this page appear. I'm like, wait, 15 minutes counting down? Is this going to be like one every 15 minutes? It's like, well, I suppose it's now only going to be maybe what you do the math for it. Like, it's only a couple of hours where you've got to pull your hair out wondering, am I going to get invited to TI? As opposed to the original with like TI2, it was weeks. Like it was a span
I mean,
of
I
like
think
2
this is a cool way. This is a cool way of doing it. I think, like, that's good.
It's absolutely. I think it's a really cool way to do it. And like I said, when you saw the 15 pop up, I was like, we'll get 15. But wait, why is it 2.5 hours till the America qualifier is announced? And now I guess it makes sense. So when I told my wife I was going to do a quick show to talk about the main invites,
you lied.
I did. So
I mean, it's just every 15 minutes something gets revealed.
Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of, like we said, it's a fun way to do it. And it's something where, yes, the first 5 to maybe 7 teams, you could say, are expected. But after that, there's a lot of discussion that could be had.
I'm waiting for the curveball where Team Malaysia's name pops up next. And we all sit there going, oh shit.
Well,
I wonder if Rave now still gets in.
And that's it. So we were talking about that earlier, right? The Rave Malaysia. It would make sense in theory if we were looking at regions for Malaysia to pop up here at some point. Do you think that it's fair for Team Malaysia to get the direct invite, considering the short history that they have and sort of a team that was built in a way for TI, whereas Rave has been working for this for a very long time?
When did Team Malaysia actually form? Like with their current roster?
Right after the Chinese shuffle, so that would have been 2 months, I believe. It would be no. So there was DAC. Post DAC, there was about a month of downtime as the Chinese shuffle went on, and then Team Malaysia came out as eHome Malaysia, and then eHome dropped them, I think, 2 weeks after that release. So, what are we looking at? 3 months off of there?
That seems like a long enough time to me. I mean, it's kind of arbitrary, right? But 3 months seems like a. I mean, of course, every team is obviously like just trying to get to TI, whether they form 3 months or 6 months.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the question is, I guess it is fair. It's just got to be crushing for a team like Rave, who we can argue, I don't think we have to argue, we can say has had a really tough year. I mean, these guys have made tournaments and finals and have had visa issues and not been able to attend and have been plagued by travel stuff when they are able to get to a tournament. And finally they say, this is our year, and then Team Malaysia pops up 3 months ago in their region and says, no, I think we're going to go ahead and take that direct invite from you.
I mean, if you're not as good as them, then...
It is what it is.
I mean, get wrecked.
So you follow that frame of philosophy. So to you...
To me, I personally think that, like, within reason, TI should be about the skill level of the teams or what you can project their skill level to be. I mean, you have to, like, draw a limit there, obviously, because then you just get crazy last-minute shit. But, I mean, it's hard to, like... I mean, in the same way that you can say, you know... It's hard to project what a team's going to perform like in a couple of months. It's the same thing as looking at a team's LAN performance 4 months ago and expecting that to carry over to TI, you know? So, I don't know. For me, at least, it's more about skill level, not like Team Rave, like, doing okay at a bunch of stuff. If Malaysia, like, won some events, then... I mean, they haven't... I mean, Malaysia hasn't even done that well either, though, right? Like... They've had some rough moments. Starladder was not a great. They beat Secret, and they won some small SEA stuff.
They tend to dominate SEA.
At the same time, they still qualified for these events over the other teams in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, that's true.
And while Rave, they did perform very well at DAC, it still wasn't a high position where you'd say, hey, yeah, these guys, they actually won. It was more of a, wow, they really performed a lot better than most people thought they were going to.
That's true. That's true.
Was the general feel. I know there's still a lot of people out there that said, yeah, Rave, we knew they were going to win so many games. Like Cap was sitting there going, value bets galore. Rave will win everything for me. But beyond that, it was, yeah. I don't think you can, like, what's Rave won? Like, really won? Like a top competition. Have they won a top competition?
I mean, you can say that about probably a lot.
You can say that about Malaysia too. I mean,
sure.
You can say that about.
Can we say a top 3 position then? Because I don't want to. Because with number 2,
I-League Season 1 last September.
I mean,
they got third slash fourth.
One of them has to get an invite.
Right.
Well, then again, do they, Charlie?
That's a fair point. No. But Toby brings up a good point.
What if Southeast Asia is just completely ignored?
When you look at the rankings, I'm not saying rankings matter. I'm not saying rankings matter, but when you look at the top 20, both in the media poll as well as the ELO charts that Knoxville works on, Malaysia and Rave both consistently fall between the quote-unquote cutoff for direct invite stack rankings. So, in theory, they could be left off of the invite list. Do you think that they deserve an invite, even though they're not in the top?
It would be the ultimate, like, head on the chopping block for Southeast Asia if it happened. I'm saying it not even as a joke, just as in if it does happen, then oh my God, Southeast Asia, I would light a candle for them. It would be so sad.
we would light a candle. And it would be tough as a region that's trying so hard to sort of break out. They've had a couple of setbacks this year, a couple of tournaments that just haven't gone so well. That would be pretty tough for them to handle. I lost my train of thought. Where are we? Somebody save me.
We're 2 minutes away from the next invite.
2 minutes away from the next one.
I would just like to say, Joe just messaged me. He said Malaysia got 4th place. Okay. So at MPGL, Rave did win that LAN. Malaysia got 4th at it. I just want to throw it out there.
That was in November.
October.
I don't.
A long time ago. That's 6 months ago.
So? Rave existed at that time.
I know, but I don't understand how tournament placing 6. I mean, I guess it goes against like the. I mean, to me, a tournament 6 months ago was worthless. That's like forever.
Forever in Dota years. So I mean, but then the question is, what does it? If a tournament 6 months ago doesn't matter, Greg, does a tournament that waits 2 months between having games matter?
Wow. Okay. You really want to get into this? You know whose fault that is, Steven? He's sitting here in this call right above me.
Stop. Okay, if you... I'm just gonna put it out there. First of all, it's not just my fault, alright?
That's true. That is true. It
It's
is not
definitely
true.
not just my fault. Like, we were down to play after,
True.
like,
It is both you and Matt's fault.
it's also Dota Pit's fault for giving us this much leeway. It is both on me and Matt. I'll say it. It's
For
both
letting
on
you
me.
make your own decisions. Piece of shit.
That's
Better
pretty
than
amazing.
letting you make decisions.
We had a fucking game yesterday. Fuck you, Toffees. Fuck you. Except Toby. It's been nice so far.
No, you had a game. I tuned in.
far.
I was excited. I was like, Pimmuckle gets to work.
Jesus Christ.
It was exciting. It was an exciting game. It was a good game.
5
Sorry, Greg.
seconds.
I had to.
5
I was
seconds.
stalling. 5 seconds. Thank you. So let's pull that up here on the big screen, guys. The reveal is happening right now. It is
Cloud9.
going to be Cloud9. Cloud9 with the reveal.
Look at that.
What do you guys think? Tell me about it.
What a dank
I'm
meme,
just
Valve.
happy.
Well
15
memed.
minutes.
Well memed, Valve.
Well memed, Valve. Well memed.
Second column, second row, baby. That's
Alright, who's gonna make the very obvious picture which just like flags the meme?
I mean, it's probably on Reddit already. Like, it's Reddit has the power. It's definitely already up there. So Cloud9 gets into the 3rd spot. We see that. I think that's this top 5 to me is incredibly strong. I mean, this
6 teams.
6 teams. I'm bad at math, so that's why I do play-by-play anyway, and not stats. 6 teams listed here, one after another. This is a very, very strong 6. Let me ask you this: if we say this is the top 6, or this is the big 6, do you think that this is the strongest 6 we've seen in a TI, or going into a TI to date?
I don't remember how good the other teams were last year, but it feels.
Are you talking about like relative to each other or relative like overall?
Relative to like each other. I feel like in other TIs we've sort of seen teams that kind of excel past the norm, and I feel like once we get to
no, I think you could say that.
I think once we get, I could even argue the Elite 8 in TI this year is going to be very, very strong.
No, I think I think you can definitely say that these 6 probably have the least amount of skill gap between them.
I think that's a reasonable. Without looking at the old TI stuff, I think that's. I seem to remember that it was a bigger gap. It was like, well, these teams are obviously getting invited, and then all the rest of the teams are clusterfucks.
Well, the rest of these teams are now clusterfucks.
Yeah, this is kind of when it starts to get a little interesting for me.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. So we are going to update the call real quick. We've got Nahaz calling in. Apparently he is supposed to be...
Old man Nahaz.
Apparently he makes me mad because his Skype doesn't have Nahaz in it, so you have to type his real name, which I always have to like think about.
Yeah, how annoying is that? Like, seriously, can he not change it? I can't believe how many times I have searched for Nahaz on my freaking Skype list. I'm just like, wait.
I'm just gonna throw this out here. You guys know you guys know you can rename the contacts on your contact list, right?
No, I
it
do
requires
that,
exactly
still,
2 clicks.
It requires more than 2 clicks.
I literally just did 2 clicks, added a
input.
dash Nahaz to his name.
Input.
Jesus.
Well, you can put me on video if you want to, but you don't have to.
We've got
I
you
actually had to change my shirt. I was wearing the same shirt as Toby, and that shit will not work. So, anyway.
How cute.
Yo,
you
why
guys-
can't we dress to match Nahaz? We did it at MLG. Why can't
Hell
we do
no,
it?
baby. Hell no.
That's awesome.
All right. Oh,
All right, so welcome to the show.
camera.
For those of you who do not know who Nahaz is, I don't know where you've been. He was on the analyst panel at MLG Columbus. I think a lot of folks could argue one of the better analysts we've had on a panel in a long time. He's joined us, fortunately, without wearing sponsor swag as he tends to do when he comes on the show.
I did that once.
I was giving you a hard time.
Hey, you're
I
a
was giving you a hard
disgusting sellout. I don't know anyone who sells out more than you.
Excuse
Okay,
me.
okay, Twitch
That was a
buddy.
joke.
time. Right, says Greg. As he's probably on his Alienware laptop right now.
I'm not actually on my Alienware desktop. Thank you very much.
Good Lord! Wow,
Good Lord.
What did you do? I don't want to know what you had to do. They sent you like everything.
Is that an Alienware camera as well? Hence, we can only see like
no, that's
half
a
of you in the
Logitech.
screen?
Logitech camera, actually.
Do you actually try and look like a hobbit on your camera?
Gerg Burns.
What the fuck, Toby? I thought we were gonna be friends today, but nope.
Hey,
all right,
hey,
just the standard stuff.
You said yet. When you said yet, you laid down the challenge.
Damn.
Toby sandbagged you too. He waited. He let us be the bad guys for a while, and then came after you when you weren't expecting it. So,
Wait,
Nahaz,
does that make me Gandalf?
I mean, I guess
you don't have
Yes.
a beard. Like, if you start growing out the beard, then I'm fine with that.
All right, so we know what you're gonna have for TI. So, Nahaz for TI with beard. That's the caveat.
Oh, God.
Nahaz, what do you think of the draft of the picks so far?
I mean, these are pretty much slam dunks. These are your top 6 teams in the world by, I think, anybody's metrics. I do expect Empire will be the 7th team, but I mean, when you look at these 6 teams, LGD is probably the one that you can point to that doesn't have sort of the more obvious credentials. You have to look sort of deeper into the numbers, but I certainly think that the other 5 in their way have really been dominant in the games that they played and in some of the tournaments that they played in. You know, as much as we give C9 crap for finishing in 2nd place, they have been consistent performers, and they've been in consistent presence in the pro scene since TI4. I mean, when you look at Vici Gaming won 11 events since TI4. That's tied with Empire for the most of any pro team, and they have 5 lands. That's the most outright 5 land wins since TI4. They certainly deserve to be your #1 team. Evil Geniuses won 4 out of 8 lands that they competed in since TI4, finished 2 in 2 more. They've won more money since TI4 playing Pro Dota 2 than any other team. Team Secret had the highest win percentage in 6.83 of any team. There were 40 different teams that played at least 50 professional matches in that patch. Team Secret had easily the highest win percentage of all of them. And then when you look at Invictus Gaming, IG has 17 total TI appearances on their roster among their 5 players. And since March 6th, when they completed their current roster, they've won 76 Pro Dota 2 games. That's over 10 more than any other team during that period. So certainly those 4 teams were your top 4, and I think you can make a very, very good argument for C9 and for LGD as being 5 and 6. Like I say, I do expect that Empire will be #7.
So let me ask you this, and I asked the guys this a little bit earlier. You're somebody who, I know this for a fact because for those of you who don't know or aren't normally on the show, I stay home with my son during the day and then do voiceover and stuff, work at night. So I have the pleasure of watching Twitter constantly, and I cannot explain to anybody else how much Dota Nahaz watches for someone who's not actively being paid to watch Dota. So he's constantly watching it. As somebody who's watched all of this, and I know that you followed previous TIs as well, do you think that this looks like the most stacked TI? Charlie says he sort of agrees with this, that we've seen to date.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yes. I think at least, I think when you look at this field, okay, I think any one of these top 6 teams can win. And I don't know. I actually, Toby, I want to hear Toby's opinion on this.
Wow,
when
really?
you go back to TI4, TI3, TI2, how many teams going into the tournament, how many teams would you have said had a realistic shot of winning those tournaments?
Probably a maximum of 3 for all the tournaments.
Do you the other 3 of you guys, do you agree with me? I think all 6 of these teams can win.
Yeah,
I disagree.
You don't think LGD? LGD would be the only one that I would.
I don't think that's who he's thinking.
I don't think
Really?
Cloud9. I don't think Cloud9 can win.
I think if I think if EE plays his best, Cloud9 can win.
You think he
Because
gets, do you think he
their
gets second,
other
Charlie?
4 players were magnificent at Star Ladder 12. Their other 4 players, you could have made a case for all 4 of them to be on the all-tournament team at Star Ladder 12, which isn't a thing except for I do it for fun.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's all 6 because the 4 teams you see on the top row have something more than those teams. I mean, can they win? I like if you want to be technical, there is a small percentage that yes.
I'm saying if you were making odds, I'm going to talk about teams that going in, maybe not 10%, but in the 5 to 10% area, right? And I would put I think both LG, I think C9s is over 10% if you're making odds.
Don't.
So
you think their chances are over 10%?
Of winning the whole thing?
So if you I would put it right now, if you gave me the top 4 teams, I'd say that one of those top 4 teams probably has about a 75% shot.
And which team?
Wait. How do you? Wait. You think all 4 of those teams?
I think if you gave me the first 4 teams invited.
Oh, then collectively.
Yes, collectively.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not that dumb, Charlie. Not that dumb.
I've been talking with Girk for the last half an hour. So.
My God,
That's fair enough. That'll do it to anybody.
So let me ask you guys this. It sounds like in an any given Sunday sort of scenario, a best of 1, maybe even a best of 3, any of these teams could really step out and take a game or 2 or a set. But it sounds like there's 4 teams on this list that have the chance of taking what I would assume is going to be the big best of 5, who has the chance to win the whole thing. Or do you think, I mean, Nahaz said Cloud9 LGD could do it. Charlie doesn't think so. Toby, what do you guys think?
I don't think there's I would say that Cloud9 and... I mean, I feel like a slight tier between these 2 rows.
Okay.
I think
there is, for sure.
I think I would put like the top 4. I mean, it's hard to say now, right? But like the top 4, I think is like if TI happened tomorrow, I would put the top 4 winning at like probably 80 or 80, like extremely high.
Okay, so 85.
No, I would put it at lower. I would put it.
You really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think
it's
not
85.
Well, okay, maybe not tomorrow because the patch just happened, but like
no. I mean, like the more time, I would say that the more time that goes by between now and whenever TI happens, the better chance that the top 4 have.
So let me. I'm going to stop us because we have a pause here. I want to go to Toby, and I want to stop him from opening his CS:GO cases that he's opening right now.
I'm not doing that. I'm actually photoshopping a picture for Team Empire, who comes in next.
Toby, what's your luck like on opening cases?
Oh my God,
dude! I opened up an M4. I opened up an M4.
I saw that.
And Jacob wanted to kill himself.
Well, I know. Okay, we can move on. But I know Jacob's opened like 1,300 cases or something and gotten fucking nothing.
And he got jack shit. And Blitz is sitting there opening up knife after knife after knife with Azimos flying out as well.
I have no sympathy. I opened 20 of the demi. No, I wasn't 20. I opened I think 16 demi heroes, and I haven't gotten a golden one yet.
Dude, our CEO of Freaks for You bought like one of every single one. And he actually went back because he opened up 3 golden ones because he wanted the normal ones because they look better than the golden ones.
He
actually got pissed off he got golden one.
Oh my God.
Hard life.
So, Toby,
they're all just fucking disgusting.
Toby, let me ask you, what do you think? Do you think first LGD or Cloud9 could win the whole thing, or what do you think the chances are that what percentage chance is it that the winner comes out of the top 4?
Percentage of the winner out of the top 4, which has already been invited, is bloody high. Like, very, very high. Like, I'm putting up probably 80% for the top 4.
80%.
LGD, I never want to doubt Zhao 8 and the lineup that he's got. It's so capable that they could just come through, and it'll do the same thing as Newbee did at TI4. As we talked about, like when I first came on here, you fly completely under the radar and no one prepares to try and crush you because you're thinking, well, they're a good team, but are they good enough that we actually want to focus them down? And the same kind of thing could happen to Cloud9, where a lot of people say, well, they're only going to get fucking second anyway if they do get to the grand final. And you may just think, you know what, we can beat Cloud9, that we can deal with them. They still make silly mistakes which we can punish easily, so we can win that way. So they have the chance to come through, but I wouldn't back it just based on the team's performances and the skills of their players, but on just what can happen during the tournament. It's not something which I would bet they would win it for themselves. They can just capitalize on the position they're in.
Next one goes out in a minute.
All right, are we saying our predictions here?
So
I'm on the Empire. I'm on the Empire train.
Gotta be Empire.
Empire.
When people started making their predictions.
Okay.
It's gonna be Team Malaysia, and we're all gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
It's gonna be
When
Empire.
people started making their predictions for the Compendium Direct Invites, I said there were 7 locks. There were 7 teams that should be on absolutely 100% of lists out there. 6 of them have been invited. Empire is the 7th.
So we've got. So let's do this in a circle, real quick. Alan, Nahaz, name it.
Empire.
Charlie.
Empire.
Hit.
Empire.
Toby.
Empire.
All right.
That's unanimous. All right.
I like the peer pressure shift.
I seriously just want to see Malaysia, just so Charlie can sit there and go, "What the fuck, man? What the fuck?"
Well, but he could.
I wouldn't be that surprised if Malaysia.
You down on Malaysia, Charlie,
it's Malaysia, and then the fact that Rafe may not come. 1 second is going to happen now.
Well, there it is. There it is. 4 for 4, boys. Empire it is.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So Empire locks up the 7th. So after this, things get interesting. Now, before we do that, let's talk a little bit about Empire, because Nahaz said that this was a lock. This was a team that was guaranteed to get in. However, when you look at the European scene, there's a lot of teams that sort of bounce around with Empire. Maybe haven't been as strong in the previous patch, but you could argue since this new patch came out, have had the potential to be competitive and on the same tier as Empire. So teams that come up are awesome toss in the mix. You have Alliance, then there's the Pajamas. Who else is on there that's constantly thrown around with them? Na'Vi has recently made a huge surge in this patch. Do you think that Empire is the best of the rest when it comes to Europe, guys? Nahaz is gone, so it's just us.
Wait. Is Empire the best out of?
So I think when we talk about Europe, we talk Secrets. Secrets kind of got Europe as the big dog #1. Is Empire the best of the rest when you talk about everybody else in the pack there?
No, I think
just,
C9. No,
I think
C9 is second. C9 is second.
course.
I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I actually didn't mean to say it that way. Did not mean to say it that way.
C9 is
You
second.
just memed yourself, Charlie.
Yeah, I really did. I did not. No, well, okay. So meme aside, I think C9 is probably the second best team in Europe in terms, like, if I were to power rank them. And then Empire, in terms of consistency and results, they're probably third. They did lose to Tinker recently.
I'm gonna say that
that's a thing.
Like, if you look, I mean, the way that Empire drafting in this new patch does not seem to be the. I don't know. It does not seem to be correct. I'm gonna say that. The way they've been drafting so far this patch. So at least correct compared to what teams are winning with right now.
I did real quick want to pull up on the screen what Toby's been working on for the last 10 minutes as we chatted here.
It wasn't 10 minutes.
So,
it was the shittiest paint job you could have ever fucking done.
We'll go to full zoom. We'll go to full zoom so everybody can see it. So this is what Toby's been working on as the rise of the Empire. He wanted to one-up the Empire Twitter guy for the first time. So
it's not even one-upping him. All I did was
Empire Twitter guy hasn't even said anything yet.
Right?
Empire Twitter guy is
he's probably asleep. It's
True.
like 6 a.m. in Russia. It would have started when the Team Empire guy would be fucking asleep.
Oh, that's hilarious. You know, and I feel bad.
I'm checking. I'm checking right now if he's actually been retweeting or replying to anything. 5 hours ago was his last interaction. He is so dead asleep and missing the perfect opportunity.
He really is.
You know, like, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I want you guys to meet Empire Twitter guy for yourself in person.
He's good. He's pretty funny. I like him.
Just meet him in person. He's legit.
Okay, that's good to know. So, 11 minutes left till the next one comes out. You guys all said it that the first
This is so hard now.
Right, the first 7 were sort of locks. Now is where it starts to get crazy. So let's talk about this because we have a little bit of time here. Take a second, figure out who you think that the next one's going to be.
I still want to ask the question: does Newbee get in?
Okay. So do you think this is a good spot to put Newbee? Because it's sort of, we're out of the guaranteed section.
There is no fuking way they're gonna get invited if they didn't get invited first.
You think so?
Thinking about this rationally at all. If they don't get invited first, they don't get invited.
No, that's
Unless
not
Valve
the
is like
rational way
the
to look at
master
it.
fucking troll. Of course, it's a rational way to look at it.
No, if you're rationally looking at the way they've done the invites, they're actually selecting teams based on who they think is the highest skilled, the best team, and they're doing them all
In that case,
order.
they're definitely not going to get
Newbee-
invited.
No, you can still have Newbee being invited. They're just at the end.
I think
Ant could
this
work.
could be Newbee or Rave. This is either going to be Newbee or Rave. I think it'll probably be Newbee. It's probably gonna be Newbee.
So you're going with Newbee.
Which leaves the last 2 slots to like a Southeast Asian team and 1 more European team.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Newbee, then Rave, then probably VP.
Newbee, Rave, then VP. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey boys, sorry about that.
That was my question for you guys. Is do you guys think that VP is good enough to get invited?
It's VP for the European anyway. Like they're directly behind Empire.
I think so. I think so.
they're
Good
quite-
enough, yes.
I think they're quite good.
I mean, the question when you talk about these final 3 invites is not, it's not really, it's more about Valve than the teams. Okay, the question is whether or not Valve is going to invite 1 or 2 SEA teams, which I think you can make it, or 0, which I think you can make an argument for all 3. If you are inviting the best 10 teams in the world, VP probably deserves an invite. I do not think they will actually get one.
Really? Who do you think is gonna get it over VP?
Yeah.
When I worked this out, I do think that they will invite Newbee. I don't think that it will be deserved, but I think they'll get an invite.
Sure.
And I actually think that they will invite both Malaysia and Rave because I think that you're going to invite at least 1 SEA team. And if you do that, the line between those 2 teams is so thin that I think they'll invite them both. And again, this is all about, do we talk about who we think the best teams are, the best 10 teams are? Because if we're talking about that, Rave, Malaysia, and Newbee are probably all 3 out of that equation for me, personally. But if we're talking about what do I think Valve's going to do, those are my last 3 teams.
Yeah.
But if they invite 2 Southeast Asian teams, your European qualifier is going to be so heavily stacked.
I agree.
I could not agree more. I couldn't. To me, if you are inviting the best 10 teams, I think VP and NIP both get invites. But again, I don't think that's what Valve are actually going to do.
I just realized we're gonna be sitting here. Like if we go through like every single one of these, we're gonna be sitting here for a long fucking.
I have
I'm not
45
sitting here for the
exams to play
qualifiers.
tonight, guys.
No, guys.
Once we hit the qualifiers, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? It's the rest.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I don't give a fuck.
And I'll take this chance, guys, real quick to just let everyone know who's joining us that this is a impromptu episode of Coffee with Toffees. We wanted to make sure that there was a coverage show. It's sort of, I don't know, to me this is a lot like the World Cup, right? Like the World Cup qualifiers, the draw just gets me excited. If you guys need to leave,
hosted in a country that makes sense.
if you get tired for some reason, you need to go. Please don't feel like you have to stay. But I'm glad that you guys could join us for this selection process. So next team on the list, I want to get everybody's official call out right now so that we can talk about it.
We're still like 7 minutes out.
All right, so you want to talk? Okay, let's negotiate it then a little bit and figure out where we're going with this.
I'm gonna say Newbee, and my answer is not gonna change.
So you're sticking by this Newbee. So you are positive that Newbee is going to at least be on this list somewhere.
Yep.
If it doesn't happen next, they're coming back.
Yep.
Makes sense. Okay.
Fuck them. I don't think they're coming back.
Greg says fuck them.
Okay.
So let me ask you this then. So Greg says fuck him. You don't deserve a return. Nahaz, Toby.
You don't play Dota for 6 months. You're shit. You have a terrible attitude about Dota. Go fuck yourself.
So this.
Greg! Oh, no, stop.
He's definitely gurging.
He's gurging.
He's definitely gurging.
He's gurging.
Greg, so I'm just gonna repeat what you just said. You're shit. You don't play Dota for 7 months. You don't deserve an invite. Greg, you are shit. You manage Dota team now. You cast Dota. You haven't played Dota.
I have played Dota
like
a lot in the last
You're
2 weeks.
basically a CS:GO player.
Sure, playing limited while you're drunk
Dude,
doesn't count.
I've played Dota quite a lot in the last week and a bit when I actually started casting and managing NAR.
Wow.
You
Wow.
haven't done a damn thing. You were on my friends list. I see you. You don't do a thing.
So how you doing, Toby?
You're so bad at the game too.
I'm doing wonderful. I'm waiting for Charlie to also say technically Greg doesn't run any of Dota Pit as well. That's all run by Charlie.
I mean, how else could Charlie go so long without playing a game?
Oh my god, dude.
I'm so glad I called in now.
I mean, there's the argument that I have more control over administrative decisions in Dota Pit than Greg does.
I mean, I'm not supposed to. I'm not the admin.
Neither am I!
Alright, I'm just saying I have 11 games in the last week. You can go fuck yourself.
Back to the teams, okay?
So,
because
yes.
actually, I think this next one is where we're going to find out a lot about what Valve actually are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think...
It's got to be a Southeast Asian team in this one.
You think so?
I think so. I think
You
so.
think so?
You look at all the teams which have been invited so far. We've got nice spacing of China. We've got the only American team which is worth an invite there. And you've got the good spacing across Europe as well as CIS. So it's the 3, 3, and 1. The last position has to be the Southeast Asian team. So it's either Rave or Malaysia, which is about to come in. And then we're going to sit here and ponder our thumbs about the last 2 positions.
I think you've convinced me, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Charlie's right that Newbee will still definitely be invited. But I don't think it's going to be this position. It'll be one of the last 2. And this will be the Southeast Asian answer. This is going to be, if it's going to be Malaysia or Rave. If the people are praying right now in the regions, I know Rave actually tweeted out saying, please pray for us. But if it's the RNG gods you're going to right now, you need them. You definitely need them.
You know what? I think Toby just convinced me, and the reason why is because Valve loves their theater.
Yes.
And I think that everybody expects that at least one SEA team is going to get invited. So I think by announcing Malaysia next, you keep the most suspense about the last 2 bids alive.
Yeah, I think there's also the key, and I think that's something that we often don't talk about when we get into analysis is, to me, and you guys can correct me if you think this is wrong, Valve came out and said that the initial concept behind TI is they wanted to do something for the fans and to thank people who committed and spent so much time playing Dota. And it seems to me that if that's a philosophy behind an event, you're going to try to make sure all regions are included. It's not just going to be about the best teams in the world, but it's going to be about the opportunity for fans from everywhere to sort of come to the event and see this thing. And that's a big part of TI, right? I mean, I've never been to one, but from what I'm told, it is the penultimate Dota 2 experience.
Absolutely.
So you have to wonder if when they do these invites, set out to make sure that everyone at least has something to make them feel great about being there at this event, someone to support, so on and so forth.
No, I mean, look, I don't want to sound cynical about this because it isn't cynical, but I mean, there are people in SEA who buy a lot of compendiums. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to sound like an ass, but there's going to be an SEA team invited.
No, that makes sense. I mean, that's true, and I think that we all knew that SEA would be invited. The question is it going to be 1 or is it going to be 2 teams? Because it sounds like everybody on the panel is agreeing that North America is only getting 1. Is anybody not agree with that?
There's like the slimmest of slim chances that Tinker gets invited, but I think it's like
it's 0. It's 0.
It's like below. It's like 1%.
It's 0.
I had it at 1%.
Like literally 1%.
So let me ask you this: is Tinker better than Team Malaysia or Team Rave?
Yes.
Did beat Malaysia.
I think they beat him today, right, or something like that.
No, they beat him at Start Ladder.
That's what it was.
So Team Tinker is better. I think Team Tinker is better than either of those 2 teams. But again, I don't think it. I don't. They're also they have a shorter history and they don't have the pedigree.
Pedigree.
I mean, you look at pedigrees matter, right? Look at LGD. Okay,
right.
I think we can all agree, looking at the order in which these teams have been announced, that there's a priority there. And LGD has 17 TI appearances on their roster. I think that's more than anybody else in the field. I think that played into it.
Man,
I mean, I bet Tinker has a lot of invites. A lot of, like, maybe not invites, but a lot of appearances.
I just want to take a second to, I guess, redirect everybody to this tweet by a certain Matt Weber, who is
Dude, are you
the
fucking
chief,
serious?
who is the chief Dota 2 officer for Team Liquid. Somebody that actually
Can you
plays
just hang up
Dota.
with Charlie?
I would just like everybody to go look at that tweet.
Where
I
is this
played 11
tweet?
games in the last week, Charlie.
I put it in chat. I put it in chat. I would
take
just
it.
like
There
everybody
you
to go look at this tweet.
It's on the big screen, so here it comes.
Okay.
Oh my.
So I kept trying to get What Is Hip to play Dota with me last week, and he
How
never
is this
did.
the thing?
Charlie is
You're
right.
all actually so fucking trash.
And then he says it cool, where he says he don't play games. He don't play no games.
Wow.
This is some
Hey Greg,
bullshit.
how do you remain in the Dota 2 scene when your
Oh.
reputation gets trashed time and time again by Charlie?
Right?
Apparently I'm entertaining or I don't know. People like watching me getting made fun of.
So we've got 31
Fuck
seconds
all
left,
of you.
guys. I'm going to cut the making fun of Greg, and I want to go around. Let's get some picks, boys and girls. Nahaz, who's your pick for the next slot?
Malaysia. Toby convinced me.
Monolith, who's your pick?
Oh my god, don't call me that. Still
Charlie,
Newbee.
who's your pick?
It's still Newbie. I'm gonna stand by my choice.
Toby.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Who's your pick, Toby?
We're all fucking wrong. It's Virtus Pro.
Virtus Pro, he's going deep. What is hip? What's your pick?
No, I know. It
don't
just
know,
came
dude.
up 10 seconds
Are you
early.
serious?
Virtus Pro.
Oh,
It
shit.
just came up. It's
Wow.
Oh
Virtus
my
Pro.
God! They
That-
actually,
Oh my god.
Wow, that German
All right.
internet. Wow.
All
They
right.
might actually be inviting the 10 best teams.
I'm
I will be
all
so
I'm saying is
happy.
right now,
I'm 8 for 8 on my compendium right now.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I invited
Ditto.
them as well.
Ditto.
Let's investigate.
I'm 8 for 8.
Nope. Rip
So-
me. Rip me. I lost. I had them in, but I took them out for
VP
a
gets it,
CC.
guys. But this
Your
is an
reputation's
interesting.
going down again, Greg. Bit by bit, your reputation's just
Whatever.
going
I'm
down.
fucking DMG and CS:GO. You all suck.
So Nahaz brings up a good
That's what I
point.
thought. You don't play Dota, do you?
Jesus Christ. So Nahaz brings up a good point here, guys, and he says maybe they are inviting the 10 best teams. So far, this list does look like it reflects the top flow of like where these teams are sort of ranked and compete against each other. Does that bode well for other regions who don't have somebody who sits up in that top grouping?
I mean, in my mind, that means that Nip is probably going to get invited.
Are you dumb?
No.
Are you?
No, are
You
you,
don't
are
think we're one
you
of the 10 best
insane?
teams?
This is
Are
not.
you
That's
fucking
not.
insane?
That's
Are
probably
you stupid?
not good news for Nip.
This is really
Really?
bad news for Nip. They were
That's
competing
it.
with
Nip's out.
VP
Yeah,
for
they
the
were.
spot.
Nip is fucked. Nip is going through the qualifier. There is no doubt in my mind about this whatsoever.
I'm not going to go that far because, again, if you had made me make a list of who I thought the 10 best teams were, both VP and NIP would have been on that list. But the reason that it's bad news is because the inclusion of NIP would now require Valve to exclude to either invite 0 SEA teams or exclude the TI4 champions from that list. Both of those things I have trouble seeing happening. I'd be delighted if they did.
Does
Well,
this,
And that's nothing
what I was
against any
saying-
particular team.
What I was saying was in relation to what you said. Is if they invite the 10 best teams, then I would think that Nip would probably get invited. If it's completely regardless of region.
so if we're looking at the 10 best teams,
But it's not.
But if it's not that, then I don't think that.
I still don't think it will be. I'm saying that this is the whole Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber. There's a chance. You're saying
there
there's
is
a
a chance.
chance.
There is a chance. So let me ask you this. If we say 10 best teams, which none of us necessarily are, in that case, which two teams would fill the last two spots? If you were to say, I want to talk, the next two teams, if we're looking at the best in the world, are we looking at Nip? Are we looking at
Well, it's gonna
Tinker?
be Newbie. It's gonna be Newbie Rave. Last two. Newbie Rave.
But who? That's not the question, though, Charlie. Who do you think would
Oh.
fill it if it was the top 10 teams in the world?
I
I think you're right. I think it's Newbie Rave or Newbie Malaysia. But
then it would be Newbie and Malaysia then.
You think Malaysia is better than Tinker?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't think
They are.
that you can say that readily.
I think Toby said
Okay.
yes.
Tinker is pretty good.
From what I saw of Tinker
has
as Star
fucking-
Ladder,
They have some real bad teamwork sometimes, but if they play like a team, then I think they're extremely good. Sometimes they
that's
hook
still
shot at
down
each
to the
other
whole
and it's
question. If they
disgusting.
play like a team, wow, we managed to bring in 5 TI winners at one point, but they still can't compete together as a team.
I think they're super. I think they're super similar. Because at the same time, is that really a great sample size? One best of 3 at Star Ladder.
No. You can't. No, you can't
Absolutely
base
not.
everything on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so it's like, I think they're super similar. I mean, like technically, like Tinker is also part of my organization, so it's like, I don't like to gauge the strength of teams that are also part of my organization.
Fair enough.
Fuck off.
Fair enough. That's some classic. That's some
God,
classic
there's-
Charlie.
there's
Yeah.
there's
This
really
is a
nothing
classic
wrong with
Charlie
that.
thing. Classic whatever. Fuck off. I actually,
Classic.
like,
no comment.
I don't think I can really separate. How I want them to do versus how strong they are. Like that's hard to do in my head. So I'm just gonna say,
Okay. So-
yeah. Twitch chat, lol. Fuck off.
So that said, let's talk about. It seems to me that it seems pretty obvious at this point that we are not going to see the El Clasico at TI this year, which makes me sad. But we're gonna get to see it in the qualifiers. You think?
What?
The old Alliance Navi. I call it El Clasico because it's the.
But both didn't deserve to get themselves into the invites anyway. I don't think anyone, if you put them on your compendium, it was only just because you were living and
Only in
hoping
your
that
heart.
the team you love would actually get through. But there can't be any logical thought behind it.
Oh,
You have, like, Alliance is the one team which I would have said maybe would deserve an invite just because of the really rapid growth they've had recently.
Mhm.
But they just changed their roster again,
Right.
which means
Yeah.
you're instantly out of the invitations because
True.
of that.
Yeah.
And Na'Vi did something very similar, and they're very untested with their roster. Maybe if they came out of the blocks and were winning absolutely everything after Artstar joined them, and they looked so solid with a captain, which is what Na'Vi always needed,
Mhm.
then yeah, maybe I would be backing Na'Vi to potentially slip through where Virtus Pro was able to get in. But it was living on a dream to think they'll get anything but the qualifiers.
Real quick, because this is really important. Travis wants to get in the call. To flame Greg.
To flame, literally
What
just
the
to flame
fuck,
Greg.
dude?
Let's do it,
Is this a
baby.
joke?
It's a button. It's a
Yeah,
button.
I mean
I
that's
hand
that's,
deliver a
very
PC to his fucking house.
That's what he
and
said.
He's gonna come
That's
on
what
a
he-
show to flame me.
That's what he said. That's
All
what he
right.
said.
Okay,
Yeah,
Travis.
this is critical.
Yeah.
Was the PC broken when you delivered?
No, it was what the
Yo, somebody add Mott.
I'm not fucking adding Travis into this. No fucking way.
I'm on like fucking new Skype, so I don't know how to do it when I'm
Oh
calling.
my.
Skype. So we'll have Mott stop by briefly to say, hey,
This
what's
does
going
not
on?
sound like it's gonna be important. This is
Well,
gonna be just Travis.
I mean,
just
let's be honest,
complaining.
Hello, everybody.
Classic fucking Travis.
Welcome
just
Here
wanted
we
to come
go.
by.
Let's hear it.
I wanted
Hey,
to
Mark,
come
no,
by
Let's go. I'm just gonna take my headphones
flew
off. I'll be
across
back
the
in 5
country
minutes.
just to say Greg's a goddamn fucking retard.
What the fuck is this?
You haven't played Dota in like 6 months.
I literally have played a
You're
okay.
a piece of shit.
Look, okay, here you go, boyos. Fuck, here you go. I'm gonna put the chat in sub mode and just fucking spam this fucking shit. Yeah, get fucked on subscribers only. Here we go.
Greg, the only thing you're good at is Gurging out. All right, let's be honest
Yeah,
at this point.
okay.
Yo, Greg put it in sub mode. He is abusing his mod power.
He's
Yeah,
abusing
I'm
it.
seriously abusing
He's
it.
abusing him.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, guys, I'm gonna stop us here because I have 4 subs, and he actually subbed to be able to type there apparently. And if you didn't, you're a dick hip, so you owe me a sub.
Me?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't know how sub match
He's
works.
abusing his mod powers. He should be removed.
Oh,
my
man.
God,
Why would
dude.
Greg
We
ever
just
spend
went
money
full
on
NA
Dota?
Dota. Full
Alright.
NA Dota. Oh
Actually,
my god.
Everybody else, you guys
Disgusting.
are awesome. Good to see everybody again.
Mod,
but-
I highly support your taking over of High Ground TV.
It's fine, man.
Yeah, I have bad news, dude. If Travis was taking over High Ground TV, then it would be. We would have issues.
Okay,
We-
Mr.
we
Oh,
all-
I
we
have to
all
cast
know,
Dota
Greg,
Pit
that
tomorrow.
you
Oh, what do I
take
do?
Yo, I would also
we know,
like
we know
to.
that Greg only takes credit for all the work the Pimp Munkle
Yeah,
does
oh
for him.
my
Exactly.
God.
Yes, Toby, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you
Greg
guys are
takes
all
all the
right.
credit for pretty much
Perfect
everything
decision.
that is done.
I would also
Yeah,
like
you're
to.
fucking disgusting.
I have more evidence. I have more evidence against Gerg's CS:GO addiction.
Oh my god.
Is it the hot bitch?
Please refer to the link in chat.
How
Oh
did this?
my god. right.
What is this?
I'm glad this is what we're talking about now.
What has this call become? Holy shit.
I just wanted to stop by. Let me finish off with the fact that, yes, Greg is 100% a CSGO fanatic. He's actually becoming a CSGO caster. He has a channel in the TeamSpeak of High Ground TV that is called Counter-Strike Gurgle Offensive. All right? Counter-Strike Gurgle Offensive.
That's actually a thing. That's totally true. That's totally true. I think it's actually Cody Strike Gurgle Offensive. No, it's not. It's not.
Enjoy the show. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for stopping by, Maj.
That's actually totally a true thing. That is a channel that exists in our team.
For those of you who maybe didn't know, that was Mott stopping by. He is the lead caster over at Dota Pit. And actually runs the entire thing but obviously Greg takes credit for it.
Oh my god.
So that was great to have him stop by the show. So we are 5 minutes away from the pick. This is interesting. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So it sounds like no one is standing by. It's going to be the top 10 teams in the world. And that these last 2 picks could potentially go to teams outside of that top 10. Has everybody agreed on that? That this is not going to be a list of the top 10?
Anyone fucking says in this call ever again.
So let me ask. Ninth slot.
This is a true thing, and I'll show you. I mean...
No, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares.
Ninth slot, who do you think's going in there, boys? Ninth slot, who do you think's going in there?
Newbie or Rave.
Newbie or Rave?
I reckon it's just going to be Newbie, so all of Southeast Asia can sweat.
Oh,
okay.
I'm just gonna say Rave. I think Newbie will be last.
I'm gonna go with Malaysia.
Malaysia, Newbie, Hip, do you have an opinion?
No, he
Does
doesn't.
it count?
Right, for the invite right now?
Yep.
It's NIP, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't invite Ray personally, but that's just me.
Fair enough. So are you leaning towards Malaysia, or do you think somebody else will go in this spot?
I'm leaning towards Malaysia, I guess.
All right. So it sounds like all 4 of you agree that a SEA team will get the direct invite, whether it's this turn or the next, but there is some breakage as to whether or not that's Rave or Malaysia, which I think is an interesting idea, because we could say it's tough to see Rave's performance at LANs, because I don't know off the top of my head. I hadn't had a chance to prep for this show, but Rave has been unable to attend a couple of the LANs that they qualified for.
Right, they were supposed to be at MLG ahead of MVP Phoenix, and they've been hurt by that. They've been hurt by that because this is a team that they finished tied for 5th in DAC in a stacked field, right? And a lot of people have speculated that some of the Chinese roster changes and the timing of that event may have played a role in that result, but that's top 6 at the biggest LAN easily. Since TI4, Rave will have a very legitimate beef if they're not included in the field. But again, Valve cares about pedigree. We saw that with the direct invite of Newbee last year. I mean, Newbee had a losing record in pro games at the time that they received the direct invite last year, a badly losing record. So that's why I do give Malaysia the slight edge, but I think you can make a good argument for either of those teams. I don't think you could complain too hard about both of those teams being invited. Both of those teams have done things to justify their inclusion in the field. Do I think that those 2 are both among the top 10 teams in the world? No, I don't. But I think you can make a case for both of them.
Makes sense. Okay. Gentlemen, what do you guys think about that?
I didn't hear a word you said.
I think we've successfully invalidated Greg's opinion on anything. I would like to offer more evidence to the fact that he actually knows nothing about Dota, despite being the lead caster and admin for High Ground.
What?
Whatever. Well, claiming to be at least. I would like to direct everybody's attention again to the link I am posting in chat.
Yeah. All right. So off of the side that apparently Gerg doesn't play Dota anymore,
Cuckford.
No. This is evidence that he doesn't even follow Dota anymore.
Yes.
Why is he even on this show?
He struggled with the patch notes. I understand that. Toby, I want to talk to you for a second about Malaysia versus Rave. I heard you mention that you thought Malaysia was going to get the invite. Do you think that that's on the back of star power or basically just performance?
Just recent performance and future
potential.
Future performance. I think Malaysia has a lot more potential coming into TI5 than Rave does. Even though Rave, yes, they've had some really good results, and if we do just go based off results, then I'm 100% with Charlie saying that Rave deserved the invite. But if I discount that and just look at recent results and then projections into the next 2 months for who's going to be the best team to beat there and not pull an MUFC, then I would actually talk more about Malaysia, Team Malaysia being the invite. And that's the reason why I swing more to Malaysia, is because you just don't want to have that team that turns up and thinks that drinking and getting a suntan is going to be the only thing they'll ever achieve at TI. And yes, I'm actually referring to 2 different teams.
Also, I caught the football reference in there too. So, guys, we are looking at 6 seconds left on this pick. Everyone's put theirs in. 3. We're going to switch over to it now so you can see it come up live. Wow. So, who called?
Okay.
Who called for the SEA sweat pick?
Why would they invite them so fucking late? Honestly, Valve is just...
Because they're not
to fuck with you and make you look less credible, Greg.
No,
it's only Valve.
I think they wanted to make it abundantly clear the top 8 and then the additional invites.
Right.
So they wanted to say these are the best, and we're taking Newbee and an SEA. That's my guess. And it may not be an SEA, but that's how it feels.
What's unusual to you about Newbee being the 9th invite? Like, if you rank if you rank the 9 teams so far, Newbee is the worst team to be invited to the field so far.
Because the only reason they're getting invited back, if the only reason they're getting invited back is because they won last year and their performance was mediocre and they're not a top 10 team, then why wouldn't you just invite them first?
Okay,
as like
Greg,
the reigning champion.
Because that's stupid.
Who is better than Newbee in
What?
the world? Who is better
Because that's stupid.
All right, I'm done.
Sorry.
Okay, so let's talk about the Newbee pick specifically in the sense of, a lot of folks are talking about this isn't boxing. The previous world championship isn't the defender of the belt. There is no sort of you have to earn your way past the defending guard. But let's look at it this way. At the end of the day, we all know that when you log into Dota, when you play a game of Dota at the shop where you buy your items, there's an Aegis hanging on the wall. And when you hover over that for the last year, Newbee has been listed as the best team in the world. Is there an argument for them definitely deserving a shot because of that? Or do you think that this is just Valve appealing to fans in a sense of nostalgia?
Well, do you want the case for, or do you want the case against?
Let's start with the case. Let's start with the case for. What is the case for Newbee?
The case for Newbee is that 3 out of their 5 players, were on the TI4 championship team, and the other 2 were on teams that finished in the top 5.
Okay.
I mean, that's like if you look at
the other way,
if you look at
saying that you took Xiao 8 out of the team, so is it still a Newbee?
But if you look at Newbee when they were invited last year, again, their record was terrible when they were invited last year. And if you looked at that team was invited purely on potential and pedigree. And this is an invite based purely on potential and pedigree and the fact that they won last year, period. I mean, it's not ridiculous if you look at it as all 5 of these players were on top 5 teams at last year's event, and 3 out of 5 of them won last year's event. Mm-hmm. Now, again, the case against is that that team has won a total of just under $31,000 playing Pro Dota 2 this year. And that all of that $31,000 were won at a tournament at which they embarrassed themselves, going 2-13. They have won $0 playing Pro Dota 2 this year outside of DAC. And that's the case against. But again, you look at this is why I had Newbee in my predictions. That you look at Newbee's record when they were invited last year. It is clear that Valve values both potential and pedigree.
Toby, looking at Newbee, listening to Nahaz's very passionate for and against argument here, do you think Newbee being in this is the right choice?
I think it is. It really is. It's difficult to pass over the defending champion. It's still a great roster coming out from China. Inviting them over other teams, like, I'm struggling to think of any other team which you would say 100% deserves an invite over Newbee. Like, you can make the potential for the team which is missing out from SEA, be it Rave or Malaysia, that maybe they would deserve an invite over Newbee. But could you make the point for someone like Ninjas in Pajamas, for example, like, as a team that would deserve an invite over Newbee? That would be a little bit more difficult. They're very even footing, and still the defending champion thing just tips them over the edge that says, yeah, they do deserve to be in that slot. And most importantly, they're in my prediction list, which means they had to be invited.
Makes sense to me. Charlie, let me ask you this. When you see Newbee picked to be in the direct invite list, you represent a team that was listed number 2 on this. Is this good news for you? Is it something where you look at it and you go, awesome, easy roll through for us? Or does your team never really look at it like that?
For this specifically, we look at, like, I guess there's 2 ways we can look at it, and we probably do look at it in 2 ways. One is who's going to be better competition and who deserves it. I think, like, for us, for me specifically, I don't want to talk for the other for the other players. They can express their opinions on their own through Twitter or whatever if they want to. But for me, honestly, I think only maybe 8 teams deserve an invite.
Okay.
Like, so when you ask whether or not they deserve it or not, I don't think they really do. Whether we really care, no, not really. We don't think they'll be that.
Wouldn't it be
they're not going to
wonderful,
be
Charlie,
in the top.
if there was some kind of, like, LAN showdown that would justify their entry into the competition?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you referring to DAC or TI? I mean, I don't think, because I don't think the TI TI being that tournament is really relevant, because this is the invite to TI. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, like, if your argument is, you know, like, you know, put up or shut up, let's see what they do.
My argument would be invite teams that 100% deserve, and for the ones which have question marks, have some way to gauge who really deserves to take the slot, as opposed to have...
Right, so you're saying there should be an offline qualifier to determine the rest of them?
Yes. Okay, yes. I absolutely agree. I mean, but that is a whole separate issue. That is a whole nother, like, can of worms that we were talking about. Yes, so back to my point, yes, I think there were only 8 teams this year really deserve an invite. And I think there, like Toby said, there should have absolutely been offline qualifiers. But I mean, that's who knows, like, how that would have been done, how that would have clashed with other tournaments.
How that would have been done.
Like,
well,
how that
first of all, it would have had to have been planned more than a month in advance.
Right. Like, so much planning needed to go into this, and like, I'm not sitting behind.
You make
Eric
it sound like a completely impossible thing, dude. That's just
no, I don't. Maybe
well,
it sounds completely impossible to you because putting on your pants every morning is a difficult task for you.
Charlie, I'm just gonna say that you're the one who has a GIF in the chat right now of you pretending to suck a dick.
Oh, grats, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
So I mean, what the fuck is the point of that? I did that. It's like out of context. Like making fun of. I think I was making fun of you actually during that.
That is true, actually. So, Greg, let's. What do you think of the Newbee pick? Do you think that they deserve to be there as a